Hey, vinyl community, Jeff back again. This is just a quick one. Hopefully won't be too long, but this is the continuing adventures of Amazon. So back on my video that I showed my Father's Day products that I got from gift cards, I had mentioned in that one that I had ordered an album and they sent me the wrong one. I think I actually showed it too. They sent me so they send you these, they're in boxes, they're pre-sealed. I'm sure the people look at that and they just pull it off the shelf and they look at that and they send them, and then you open them and it's not that's in there. So here we go. Here's one. It says, keep it to yourself, which is the name of the album I want. Blue vinyl, the album I want. Anyway, so they sent me the wrong album. Inside the album I showed in the video was an Ace Frehley tribute album, which I already had. So I sent that back. I turned around and ordered the album again. I got another album in the mail. I didn't show that one. And it was some weird French electronica. Weird, I don't know. No, something totally weird. Nothing to have to do with that. Another different album in the same box with a different name. So I returned that one. And the guy said, I talked to the people at Linked and I told him, look, you've got boxes that are mislabeled. You need to open the boxes. He said, okay, don't order it again for 48 hours. I'm going to escalate this and have them check it out. And, they need to go back, and because it says on the website there's like 14 in stock. I think when I started with 16, it went down to 14 by this point. 14 in stock. I said, you need to open them and check and relabel them. He said, don't order the album again for 40. He gave me a refund. Don't order it again for 48 hours. I'll make sure this is taken care of. So I waited 48 hours, which would have been last weekend. So a week ago, I think it was like Sunday was 48 hours, Sunday or Monday. Placed the order again. And I waited. And, 2 days later, Prime shipping came. The box came. This is not the box. You know where we're going with this. If this is not the box. Had the right name on it. Did have a different sticker here, which had a different name. And I opened it, and it was not. The guy told me, don't order for 48 hours. Let me get this fixed. I guarantee it'll be fixed. And if not, because I was complaining, I'm like, every time you do this, I've got to go to town and drop this off at a pickup place. And so he said, look, if it doesn't, I'll get it resolved. But if by chance it doesn't get resolved, you won't have to return the album. So also by this point, by the time I ordered it the third time, the price had went up. So now I had to pay a little more. But he said, not a problem. We will price match. Once you get the right album, we'll reduce the price and price match it. So third album shows up, third package, wrong album again, labeled, whatever. So, but in this case, which is the one that he said to keep, funny, I wouldn't have wanted to keep the tribute to Ace Frehley because I already own it. Definitely don't think I really would have enjoyed listening to the weird electronica French album. But the third album is Supersonic Blues Machine. I'm like, never heard of them. But when I didn't even, not even looking, just looked at the guys. I'm like, but I can tell right now, that it probably is not that bad. And then I'm like, oh, so it's a super group, which I admit I'm not aware with who these super group people are, really. But Kenny Aronoff, I know him. So Kenny Aronoff's a drummer. He started back in the days of John Cougar. He has played for everybody, even done some work, I think, for, not Stryper, but like, I don't know, Michael Sweet. He's done some work in there. He's a studio musician for a lot of people. He plays in a lot of different bands. And this is a band that he's been in doing this Supersonic Blues Machine since like 2015. This is like their third, fourth, fifth album. I forget. I kind of glanced at it. I don't know the other guys, Chris Barnes and Fabrizio Grossi. I looked at their back history and, don't see a whole lot of things I recognize. But guest appearance by Eric Gales. He's a blues guy that I actually wanted to go see a couple weeks ago here locally, and I ended up not making it. I love his stuff. Anna Popovic, Sonny Landreth, Josh Smith, Joe Louis Walker, Kirk Fletcher, Charlie Starr, and King Solomon Hicks. So I'm assuming these are all big name people in this era, but three-band band, bluesy. Very much it reminds me of, when you say supergroup, three-man band, and kind of bluesy feel, I start thinking things like Winery Dogs, which is, Mike Portnoy, Billy Sheehan, and Rich Kotzen. They're a little bluesy based, but they're not as bluesy based as this. This is still hard rock and blues based. But anyway, point being, of all the albums they could have sent me that I got to keep, of the 3 that I got, this is actually something that I think I will enjoy, and I have listened to it, and I do. You know, it's really good. It's just I kind of feel like, I don't know. I don't want to go say it's bluesy as like Government Mule type stuff. It's not that kind, but it's upbeat, tattoo covered, drenched in just power type bluesy stuff that's enough to keep you interested. So yeah, and it is a double record set. So and it's funny because the price of this is actually, in both cases, that the actually in all 3 cases of the wrong album they sent, the album they sent were less price than the one I ordered. So I'm like, hey, yeah, I could have got ripped off there. But anyway, yeah. So I don't know if you're familiar with this band. They have some videos out there, and I have seen and listened to them. But check it out. It's some good, just solid rocking stuff. Now, so hey, it's been 48 hours. I placed the order. The wrong album came. He said, no problem. Keep it. They issued me another refund. So I turned around. He said, we're going to get this taken care of. Ordered the album again. That's the box that came in the mail yesterday. And, yeah, guess what? The babies did not get it again. Still, 4 times. 4 times they've sent the wrong album. And it's not necessarily the fault. The person pulling it off the shelf, they're all labeled wrong. They're doing their job, but the point is, I've alerted them 3 times prior that all of your boxes apparently are mislabeled. And so send a ticket up, have them rip them all open. The other option I have is, I think now it says there's 12 left or in stock or something. I had given the thought to just ordering all 12 and then sending them all back. And that way they're forced to be opened. If any of them were correct, keeping the one I want, returning the other ones as a mistake. I mean, I don't know. It's like, how am I going to get this album if they aren't taking the steps to do that? Now, I've had this happen before once, a couple years ago. We went through 2 albums that were sent wrong. By the time they got the 3rd one up, they had it fixed. Again, talk to support. They did this. They said, okay, give it some time. I'm assuming they had to go back and open. But in this case, it's 4 times and they still haven't done it. But again, I wrote them yesterday and I'm like, I got on with support. I'm like, I'm getting tired of returning these, blah, blah, blah. And the guy's like, okay, just keep it. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I wouldn't mind having a babies anthology. I mean, I don't know a lot by the babies, but if I'm going to have anything, a best of is a great thing to do. So, haven't even opened it yet. You can see it came in last night, frustrated. So, yeah, anyway, they said keep it, and then they issued me a refund. And then on top of that, they issued me a refund for the wrong item. Not the item, not even the record. The item I ordered, it was something for my dog, which was more money. And I'm like, no, wait a minute. That's not the right price. That's too much money. But it's like the guy just was expediting getting me off the call. And he's like, not a problem. Keep it. Keep the record. Here's a refund. I'm like, that's too much. Twice I said, that's too much money. And he's like, don't worry about it. And he said, keep it. So I said, fine. With all the hassle I've been through, I'll take a couple extra bucks. It wasn't a lot, but, it was like $10. I'm like, okay. And guess what? I did not order the album for a 5th time. I took that money with a little bit extra, and I bought 2 other records that had dropped in price a little bit. So, yeah, I don't know. Fool me 3 times, shame on me. But I really want the album. It was, oh, by the way, I didn't tell you what it was. The Keep It To Yourself. Back in the 90s, I believe, James LaBrie of Dream Theater did some solo albums, and he called the band Mole Muzzler. Not sure where that came from. I never looked that up. Those 2 albums were both recently reissued on double vinyl releases. For the first time, I think, on vinyl. So they were just recently reissued, and so I've had them on my list. I've been watching them, and the one of them, the first album, dropped down to like $20, $21. And so I bought it, and that's what this hassle's been about. The second album is still in the $30 range, so I do want the albums. I don't know what it's going to take to get the albums. Probably not through Amazon unless I did go back and order all the ones they had and force their hand to make them open them, and then I would open them and then send them all back on their dime. But anyway, that's it. Just a couple cool things. Thank you, Amazon, for at least discovering a new band for me with this blues machine. And yeah, and the babies. So we got a couple new additions at the expense of Amazon and the issues there. And, can't really fully blame them. Somebody mismatched boxed them, and it's just they need to take the steps to get it fixed. In the meantime, I got a couple new albums, and that's it for this one. I'll see you later. Rock on and rock hard.